Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me, as always, is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And the lovely SDA is joining us as well. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you guys tonight?
I'm good.
I have been tangoed and cashed.
Such a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I start school back tomorrow.
School back.
Back to school?
Yeah. Clearly,
Oh,
I need it
You
because I
know,
can't speak English.
I was about to say is like, well, if you're going to go back to school, you need to go down to Walmart and get your back to school gun.
What?
That way you can own the school year.
Exactly. Own the school year.
Oh, right. They have back to school guns. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they
I
did.
was like, what? I'm so
It's-
confused.
I like doing callbacks. It's a
That
thing I
went
do.
way out. Yeah, like my memory's not. Well, my memory's good. It's just selectively good.
Yeah, this is how you maintain the stream lore, by making occasional callbacks.
I get it, but I'm also confused. I'm taking global issues, and I don't think I have that until Tuesday, but it will be interesting to say the least. Let me see, what am I taking?
If the first issue isn't something dealing with either Trump or North Korea, I'll be amazed.
No, I'm taking political science, I'm taking a history class, and I'm also taking like biology, but that's just biology, and global issues. And global issues, it's going to be interesting to see like what kind of teacher I have, or what kind of professor I should say. But
Teachers, that's for elementary school.
yeah, right, like I have a professor.
So I have ad carryovers from last night for Sir Adamantine and Sanguine whenever we see them pop up. Oh, there's Sanguine. Okay. Shall I do those now or wait until YouTube time?
You can go and do them now.
Okay. Well, is Adamantine here? Has anybody seen him? I could do both at once or just one now. Okay. Well, I know Sanguine's here, so I'll do that. If we see Adamantine, I'll do that one. Okay, so Sanguine requested an old-time exploitation film regarding identity politics. So this is my attempt. Binary insanity. Learn of America's latest educational menace. Hear the perils of personal pronouns. See the horrific transformation of toddlers into sexual orientarians. Be chilled at the gender studies that drag our children into the quagmires of mental degradation. Your child may be next. Binary insanity. The tale of youth run amok. A Sanguine Cinema Films production.
Well done.
There you go.
Speaking of advertisements, I saw that Tiki Brand has come out with a statement about what happened.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We do not endorse white supremacy.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what it says. It says Tiki Brand is not associated in any way with the events that took place in Charlottesville and are deeply saddened and disappointed. We do not support their message or the use of our products in this way.
Yes.
Our products are designed to enhance backyard gatherings and to help family and friends connect with each other at home in their yard. Do you think they're going to start putting disclaimers on the little torches?
I hope so. That is so funny. I think that just also just showcases just how silly it was. Like, of all the kinds of torches that they picked tiki torches, which is like the least threatening kind of torch.
Well, here's the thing. If it has not already occurred, and I'm sure it already has because, 4chan is a thing, tiki torches will now be right up there with Pepe.
Oh, I'm sure.
You'll see memes of Pepe holding a tiki torch and making the OK symbol, and it'll just be part of the lore now, and they won't be able to escape it.
Why do we live in a society where they have to come out and say that?
Exactly, and this is what I'm talking about. By doing that, they're just fueling it.
It's kind of like if they were on camera, like blowing their noses or something. Kleenex would be like, we don't
does not support white supremacy.
Yeah.
Well, this is the central question to what's been going on in the news the last 24 hours. Is that Sanguine says something.
Thank you, Sanguine. Damn, so no Tiki Brand burning crosses. Apparently not.
Yeah, so I was going to say is that the notion that you have to somehow come out and denounce something that is so universally reviled And if you don't, somehow by not saying that, you're thus endorsing it by omission. That has been the entire news cycle on Trump in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's another angle they're not considering. I spent quite a lot of time growing up in Virginia, and there are fucking mosquitoes everywhere. Maybe they were just trying to keep them away. Maybe
Well,
these
I
were
said this
citronella
last
candles.
night. I was like, look, I get it. They're awful. But at the same time, if you've been in the South, you know that the South is a fucking swamp. And you know that the swamp is full of mosquitoes. And I know that they are white supremacists. But at the same time, if I was going to be outside at night anywhere, I would have wanted to be in the Tiki Torch party.
Cryptic, thank you. The fuck, man. All the Hawaiians are now racist.
Yep.
Because at least you wouldn't get any bug bites.
Yeah, that they had to come out and make a statement is absolutely retarded. Oh, what a world we live in.
I wonder, like, I mean, just 'cause obviously, I guess Tiki Torch has a PR team because
Of course they do.
And I would just like love to be the PR guy. Like, all right, I guess like the PR team is like, do we have to? Do you think? Do we even know? What if they were knockoffs?
Falcon Millennial says, not a fucking swamp. Fuck you. Virginia is. Virginia's absolutely a swamp.
I'm just wondering who came to them saying, you guys support white supremacy because they used it. I mean, who was thinking that? What person in their right mind made that conclusion?
That's why I'm wondering if this was like just a PR thing. If like the PR team was like, do you think we're going to have to say... Thank you, Lanny Stanfield. Survivor is now a racist show. Like, I'm just wondering if the PR team was sitting around like, do you think we're going to have to say that we don't support white supremacy?
You know what I bet it was? I bet it was not only their paranoia, but if I know my trolls, someone decided to take the side for the sake of lulz of an offended person.
Oh, yeah.
And tweeted them like, how dare you guys allow your... Why aren't you coming out and denouncing what your products are being used for or something? And, you know, it would have the expected result in this day and age.
Yeah, I want to say, like, don't do that. But at the same time, that's something that had I thought of that, I totally would have done.
Oh, God.
Because I think it's funny.
Yeah, and if you hadn't done it these days, somebody would have. But in that vein, shall we start with some schnews?
Well, real quick, I do want to bring up one thing related to this. Mm-hmm. Riley Dennis has been on a tear.
Oh, my God. Riley Dennis is going crazy.
Talking about how bad you are if white supremacists like what you do. So in that vein, they had all those tiki torches. So I mean, it's guilt by association.
No. It's guilt by appreciation.
By appreciation. There you go.
Hey.
So I made sure to tell Riley Dennis that I've heard that white supremacists like to watch his channel.
Well, when you think about it, though, Nazis are socialists and thus would probably share a number of Riley's ideas.
Yeah.
And maybe there's probably one whole Nazi out there, a single one, who likes the same kind of pizza as Riley. So clearly...
I'm pretty sure there are whole platoons of Nazis who watch Riley's stuff. I'm positive. Trust me.
Yeah, well, it's like, because here's the thing, and this is kind of what I learned with my Rage After Storm video, is that there are a couple of people who watch me regularly, not many, but a couple, who agree with almost everything I said, and then I was like, maybe race realism is bullshit, and they were like, I thought I knew you better than this. So it's not like they're going to agree with everything I say. You know, and then Christy Winters was like, I can't believe how many right-wingers are denouncing this. And I'm like, it's almost like you're full of shit and like you've been lying about people when you call them Nazis. I'm just saying.
Real quick, I did want to bring up one more thing. Night of Charlemagne has a new video up. And I don't generally shout out other people's stuff, but it's about us, so go watch it. It's a really good song. He did another parody song. Sanguine, thank you. Monkey, only equine supremacists love Riley. And Cryptic, thank you. Booty shorts are racist because more black folks have asses and white chicks got that junk in the trunk. Asians don't. Ban all booty shorts. Oh, you guys are going to be fun tonight, aren't you? I love you guys. All right. I'm sorry, Scribe. Anytime you wanted to jump into the news, I'm done interrupting.
I'm not
on your
Okay,
own
go ahead.
stream. Gosh, I don't know what I would do. Let's see. So yeah, real brief because this is still nonsense. I think just to save everybody some time, Trump should just come out and say, white supremacist sucks, Antifa sucks, thank you, goodbye. And just cover all the bases. I mean, just to get it over with. But in the meantime, what we have is Trump silent as aides look to explain his vague Charlottesville statement.
That is okay.
How vague is the violence on every side needs to stop or something or whatever it was?
That's not vague. That's so not like.
All right, hold on.
Can I just?
Just wait.
Please. That's like saying that when someone says all genocide is bad, and then like Riley Dennis pops up and is like, "Oh, so you're saying that you're not condemning the Holocaust?" Like, bitch, that's not. Okay.
You feel better?
Yeah, that's just. Okay, go.
Okay. A series of White House aides on Sunday looked to explain President Donald Trump's statement the day before that failed to condemn white supremacists or the alt-right for violence that left 3 people dead. Wait, do we know the helicopter crash? I don't know if something's happened in the last 12 or 24 hours. Did they show that the helicopter crash was related to the protest?
Not that I saw, but
no.
Okay, well, CNN seems to want to say that the violence at the protest left 3 people dead. And as far as I know, the only people that died were the woman in the car crash and then the 2 police or state troopers or whatever in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't know what CNN's talking about, but often that's the case. One White House official who didn't lend his voice to that effort, Trump himself. All right, I will admit he wasn't specific. He didn't name specific groups, but he did condemn violence. So if you want to like apply that to anybody who committed violence, then you pretty much have the bases covered, don't you?
People, and he also
all right, hold on.
You interrupted yourself. Like, seriously? Just like, isn't this like a back and forth? Or are we not talking to each other? No, fine, okay.
A White House official who requested anonymity and ignored attempts to go on the record told reporters Sunday that it was obvious the president condemned, quote, white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazi, and all extremist groups, despite Trump not mentioning those groups during an event at his private golf club Saturday and instead blaming the violence on, quote, many sides. Quote, the president said very strongly in his statement yesterday that he condemns all forms of violence, bigotry, and hatred, and, of course, that includes white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazi, and all extremist groups, the official said. He called for national unity and bringing all Americans together. Additional questions to multiple White House aides about Trump's statement went unanswered. The president's vagueness on white supremacists stood in stark contrast to the bluntness, bombast, and outspokenness Trump has built his career on. The president for decades has slammed his... So every time that he's bombastic and outspoken, CNN will castigate him to the wall. But now that he's not, it's also bad.
Well, if he had actually named all the groups involved, they still wouldn't be happy because let's not forget Black Lives Matter was there. People keep saying Antifa. I still haven't seen anything that I would say was them. I'm not saying they weren't there. But I know Black Lives Matter was there, and I know they were involved in some of the violence.
Yeah.
You can see people with their signs hitting people. So, yeah, they wouldn't have been happy if he'd been specific either.
Yeah, because if he named a group that technically was not there or was not officially represented, then he'd be like falsely accusing somebody. So why not just make a blanket statement about violence? Because here's the thing. You can be Antifa, you can be white supremacist, you can be Black Lives Matter, and none of what you do matters unless or until you become violent about it, and then it's a problem. Anything aside from that, it's just protest.
Thank you, Terry Diamandis. It's a good thing the protest wasn't near a cemetery, or the press would be saying hundreds dead at white supremacy rally.
Hey, Scribe, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you stop and interrupt yourself and say something, am I allowed to respond, or you just want me to be quiet for the whole thing?
You really want to have this argument here?
I'm just asking, because like Monkey just did what I did and you didn't yell at him. Just
Well, if I'm in the
making
middle of
sure.
if I'm in the middle of a sentence or my own thought, jumping right on top of me when I'm trying to finish a sentence is a little irritating. I do my best to remain silent when you guys are talking. And so I just expect the same reciprocated is all. And when it doesn't happen perpetually, it gets a little irritating.
All right.
So
Thank you,
being said-
Sanguine.
Mhm.
Fucking Rich from CNN. When the Berkeley attempted lynching of Milo was a mostly peaceful protest. And Cryptic, you ass. Thank you. Go Broncos, boo Chargers.
Has Sir Adamantine made an appearance yet?
I haven't seen him.
Okay.
Here's the thing: the stuff with Trump is a callback to what people used to say about Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime there was a Muslim attack,
Sure.
he absolutely refused to say certain words about Muslims, like "violent Muslim extremist." That same light, and I saw something very similar to this on Twitter today. Some idiot had taken the picture of the guy who had drove the car into the people and said, "Why didn't his pastor warn people about what he was going to do?"
Huh?
Like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there, but this guy didn't do anything in the name of his fucking religion. They're trying to turn this into repeating what was said to Obama and what was said anytime somebody mentioned stuff about Islam. And this wasn't about fucking religion, people. It just wasn't. Trump didn't not say white supremacist because he supports white supremacy or he's trying to keep anybody from insulting white supremacists. He did it because there were multiple groups who were violent, and it made more sense to just blanketly say violence. That's all.
Yeah, except at the time he made this, and somebody can correct me, at the time he made the statement, it was still under investigation exactly what was going on with the whole car crash and helicopter thing. There wasn't a determination of motive at that stage. Am I wrong?
I was asleep, but from the time frame that I know, it's about there.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are things that Obama should have said and been clear about and not given cover. And I'm not saying that Trump isn't in some way, shape, or form edging towards that as well if he doesn't say something very specific. But if he's going to say something specific, then yeah, he should say something specific about the people who committed the wrong. And the people who committed the wrong, are they, except for the white supremacists which organized the rally, except for the group that organized the rally, can you say with any definitive assurance that there were specific groups organized, involved in the other side of the equation? I mean, it is the danger of making a blanket statement that accuses the wrong people.
Yeah.
Or that vilifies people that had nothing to do with it on a wide swath, sort of like basket of deplorables. I mean, there's political expediency, and then there's just, I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around. I saw Ben Shapiro's commentary on it, and some of the things I agree with him on, and some of the things I'm kind of like, well, Trump could say that, but he could also be then condemning people that had nothing to do with it. So I don't know. So otherwise,
do you think we're going to see a statement from Dodge saying they don't support their cars being used in this way?
Yes, we will see some kind of PR statement from Dodge about, and it'll be something fluffy like, this country was built on hard work and unity and cooperation and everything else, and we here at Dodge believe in that above everything else. And then show the logo and it'll be done. They won't even mention the event. They won't be specific about it. It'll be just a very patriotic, unifying statement of PR goodness. That's my guess. So you want a deja vu story?
Please.
Okay. Well, Tell me if you've heard this one before. 17 undocumented immigrants discovered inside a truck in Texas.
You checked the date on the story, right?
This is a story from today. 17 undocumented immigrants were discovered on Sunday locked inside a tractor trailer parked at a truck stop in Edinburgh, Texas, or Edinburgh, Texas. I'm not quite sure how to say that. According to Edinburgh Police Chief David White, dispatch received a call from someone in Mexico who reported that a relative was trapped inside a trailer parked at a Flying J travel plaza. Edinburgh is in southern Texas, along the U.S.-Mexico border. God, I can't read today. The caller said the relative was accompanied by other immigrants and that it was getting too hot inside the trailer. Officers responded to the scene where they found 14 men and 3 women locked in a trailer. They were all alive. A breaking news thing just popped up on CNN. Protesters marched through streets of Atlanta in response to Charlottesville violence. I hope it's just a march. I hope nothing horrible happens. Fingers crossed.
Can I ask what the point is of marches?
I think it's more of a sentimental reflex than anything else, sort of a call. I mean, there were, if you had a march on Washington like Martin Luther King and during his speech, or it's like the civil rights marches had an effect, cumulative over time. I think the idea still is that if you can have a march with enough people to make a statement and you have them often enough, then they will change minds and affect policy or something. That's my guess.
Yeah, okay.
SDA, you don't have to be quiet the rest of the stream, seriously.
SDA,
No,
are
I'm
you still with us?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just bad at judging when you pause, so. No, like I mean it.
Okay, I will.
I'm like bad at.
I'll be like a telegram. I will just say pause every
Stop.
time. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, okay. Anyway, so we had 17 people locked in a trailer again because the lesson has not been learned, apparently.
Well, I think they learned a lesson. They weren't at Walmart.
At least they didn't stop at Walmart.
I mean, Walmart is where the bad stuff happened. Apparently, what was it? The Travel J? What was the little place they stopped?
Flying J Travel Plaza.
You see, the Flying J Travel Plaza obviously has a better environment to stick your illegals all in a big box.
Oh, man. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah. I'm still stuck on why March. I've never understood that. I didn't understand it during the civil rights era, and granted, I wasn't there. I saw it all in pictures. But to me, the most powerful stuff wasn't actually the marches. It was when people were being abused by police officers with dogs, and the marches were fine, I guess. I mean, as a show of solidarity, but especially in today's society, what the fuck are you guys doing? Go sit down and watch TV. Game of Thrones is coming on, people. Get your asses at home and relax.
Let's see. I'm looking up a story. Let's see if there's something covering the marches. Hundreds march in Atlanta to protest Charlottesville violence. It took local activists about 30 minutes to plan an impromptu march Saturday night, but it's Sunday, so why is CNN? Oh, maybe it's a follow-up. Can't tell. I will pause now for an SDA break.
I don't know. I don't have anything to add to that. I haven't heard anything about it.
Did you didn't hear about it anywhere? You said it was in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Must not have been too big of a march then.
Or at least not yet. I'm trying to.
Or nothing happened.
Yeah.
Protesters.
Everybody was peaceful like they should be.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to play the video to save my ears the trouble, but and I didn't catch it quite fast enough, and now I'm slightly deaf. Yeah, it looks like any other of the normal sort of like, you know, music playing, marches, people in the street kind of thing at night. Again, I hope that's all it is, and that's fine. I hope nobody does anything stupid on one side or the other. But anyway, so I've got 3 stories left. They're all very different from each other. One is from Playboy, one is from The Root, and one is from the Associated Press. So based purely on source alone, which sounds the most appetizing to you, SDA?
Associated Press, I guess we'll go with first.
Before you read that, thank you, Snubbirth. Y'all sound melancholy as hell, so here's some money. I don't sound melancholy. This is just how I sound.
Monkey's always in pain, so this is just life.
And thank you, Sanguine. Look on the bright side of marches, Monkey. Think about the average SJW and realize they are exercising. Fair point, fair point.
Okay, so the headline caught me. I don't know if it's an interesting story, but I just thought I'd share. Meet a Muslim events hope to dispel misconceptions. Have you ever been to a Meet a Christian event or Meet a Jew event? I've never heard of these things, but there's a Meet a Muslim event.
Sounds like a setup.
Maybe. When Moina, I think I'm saying that right, Moina Shaikh realized even her friends were scared to ask her about her religion for fear of offending her or sounding uneducated, they have been paying attention to the news. Oh, wait, no, that's not what it says. She put an advertisement in a California newspaper, quote, questions and answers about being Muslim, unquote. I would ask, what is the prescribed punishment for apostasy? But that's just me. The ad offered ideas for questions. Are women oppressed in Islam? Yes. What is the Islamic view of terrorism? It's not terrorism, it's a divine act. How does Islam view other religions? To be supplicated. I'm answering them for her, but you know, whatever. She set up shop at a coffee house in the San Francisco Bay Area city of Fremont, hoping for good attendance, but brought her laptop to do some work in case no one showed. To her surprise, about 100 people turned out that day last year, and her Meet a Muslim program was born. It was overwhelming, said Shaikh, a mother of 4 and grandmother. Fremont is so diverse, you will see women in hijab on the streets all the time. I didn't think people here would be interested or even need to know about Muslims. They don't need to know. I don't need to know what a Christian's doing or thinking or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're probably just virtue signaling. I'm a little bitter right now. No, I'm just getting bitter at reading this. I'm just like, God, propaganda.
I think we need to meet a monkey event.
Hey, isn't that going to be like VidCon?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, we should put up like a little stand like Lucy from Peanuts and put Meet a Monkey and put a little like 5 cents underneath it.
I meet a Muslim. Fuck you.
Meet a Muslim. Like you're a Muslim, but you don't do those things. Great. You don't speak for Muslims. You speak for you.
Doesn't this fly in the face of all of the SJW stuff about, you know, lumping people together? Didn't Francesca Ramsey do a video about people who have to speak for their entire group?
Mm-hmm.
She's oppressing herself.
Any thoughts, SDA? I'm really not trying to sound condescending, but really, I don't know what else to do here. I mean, we've lost the rhythm all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything to add. Like, I agree.
Would you want to meet a Muslim?
I've met a couple.
No, I mean at an event like this.
Oh. What's the point, I guess? Like, I mean, any Muslim who's going to be like, come meet me is obviously going to be one who's like, see, I'm a good one. It's like, okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I lost a story earlier.
Oh, we forgot something. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. And if you have not already, please hit that like button. Meet an SDA.
I didn't forget that. I was waiting to see how upset chat was going to get with us not saying it.
Nice save.
No, it's true. I've been watching. Peter's been saying it since before we started.
Oh, okay.
I've been paying attention. And I love you guys. I'm just fucking with you a little bit.
Let's see. Shaikh said she started her program to educate people about her faith and culture while addressing people's misconceptions and stereotypes. Does she mean to imply that it's a misconception that women are oppressed under Islamic law? I don't get it.
From what I know, just from going to school with a bunch of people who are Muslims and who are female and going to school Muslims, yes.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. She explains the importance of the hijab, headscarf, or niqab face covering, the differences between Sunni and Shia. I did a video a while back on the differences between exactly what split the Sunni and the Shia. It's ridiculous. Of course, but it's, it's about religious stuff, so usually is somewhat ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, that's a thing that caught my eye. I don't even know if it's that interesting, but
Thank
Hogum.
you. Why does this stream seem so depressing?
Because SD and I are fighting. That's why mommy and daddy are having a fight. But we'll get over it. We're family. It happens. So SD,
can I read a story?
Shouldn't it be may I?
No.
Because I don't know.
Can I?
Can you? I don't know. Can you read?
You've heard me try.
I know. You're right. I apologize. I shouldn't make fun of the disabled.
That's funny because I'm crippled.
This
is a story, and I know you said you had two more for your.
Oh, sure, yeah. No.
I wanted to get into this because it comes to us from our favorite people.
Uh-oh. Oh, is it titled "Maybe Now Isn't the Time, Guys"?
Yes. Were you going to do that?
That was the one I was going to do. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, if you were going to do it, you want to do it so I don't fuck it all up.
Sure.
Let's do that one next. I'm sorry to steal that.
No.
I want to get into this one because God damn it.
Great minds think alike. No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, so this popped up on Twitter. Someone posted it. That wasn't me, amazingly enough, but The Root has hit one out of the park. The title of the blog, and again, this is an opinion piece, I assume. Of course, given it's The Root, who knows? The title is "Maybe Now Isn't the Time, Guys," and it's filed under white privilege. And this is by Danielle C. Belton. If you're tempted to point out that you're one of the good ones right now, please don't. If you are upset that people of color are upset that their lives and beliefs are under assault by a resurgent, resilient, citronella candle-filled white supremacist movement empowered by a White House that can't call a racist because #NotAllWhitePeople, please be quiet. If you're wondering why people of color don't want to hold your hand through this process, teach you, understand you, cater to your feelings when it is people of color being beaten, misunderstood, and whose feelings are treated indifferently, stop wondering why, because I'm going to tell you why. It's not about you. Who got killed by the car again?
It was a white chick.
Yeah, gosh, wasn't that though? It's not about you or your feelings. A woman died Saturday during a neo-Nazi, neo-Confederate, Ku Klux Klan-filled racist protest. In 2017, current year, that's my addition, dozens of others were injured. 2 others also died in a police helicopter crash working the racist protest. Which, again, does anybody know if they figured out what the cause of that was?
I haven't seen, no.
Yeah. You got a super chat.
Oh, sorry. I was reading along with the article.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Minding Freedom. Now we're getting to the root of the problem. God damn it.
I used that as the title of my my last video. So these racists have assembled to threaten us, to silence us, to hurt us, and anyone else who defends our right to be human. Aren't you telling people not to talk in this blog post?
Yeah.
If the biggest conclusion you drew from black people online being upset at violent, deadly racism was that they didn't point out that some white people aren't bad, that most white people are good, that you didn't own slaves, that some of your best friends are black, that you just want to understand, so why won't these black people explain our history of oppression at the hands of white people to you, you are not helping. You are a part of the problem. If you hear black people and other people of color voicing their pain about racism, racists, systemic racism, racist protests, and other injustices, and interpret that as, quote, but what about me? I'm good, unquote. Are you really good? You just made a person's murder by terrorism about you. I love this. This is me talking now. I love this because of its just absolute lack of self-awareness.
I mean, so are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You just made a man getting beaten by actual racists about you. You just made Trump's refusal to say white supremacists about you. You hear someone shouting, oh my God, these white racists and the assholes who voted them into power are terrible, and you wonder if they meant you. You think we should prioritize your delicate feelings over our loss, our pain, and the actual death of a person. You are so vain to you think this movement is about you. Seriously, what is wrong with you right now? Check your privilege. That's it.
But
yeah, exactly.
Like, I agree, and I don't know how to explain that.
Well, here's my problem with it. Every time there's been a Muslim terrorist attack, what do we hear? Hashtag not all.
Mm-hmm.
This was first of all, these were very specific white people. It wasn't just white people. They were white nationalists. Some, yes, actual Klan members, people carrying around actual Nazi flags, not the Kekistani flag. These are people who want to be known that they don't want to associate with people of color. And now they're saying, we can't point out that, that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to bash all white people? Should all white people be condemned for this? I'm just curious.
I mean, it's just like, what, I don't know. It's like, just tell me what you want, because I don't think you know what you want.
The other funny thing is that one of the organizers of the original event with the tiki torches was a black 4chaner.
Really?
Yeah, there's this picture that somebody put out. It was an overhead shot, and right at the center, because they were surrounding a statue or something, and right at the center you see in sort of hazy imagery that leaning against the statue is what appears to be a black man. And someone circled that and said, how brave it is of this person to be standing there up against all this hate. And then Mr. Medeker came in and said, isn't that, I forget the guy's name, the 4chan guy from Poll that organized this thing? And it's like, yeah, it is. Like, oh, isn't that funny? Not that it makes anything right, wrong, or otherwise. It's just, yeah, don't make it about you, but I'm going to write a whole blog post about how it's all about us.
Yeah, it's all about me.
Even though, like, by their own, sorry.
Okay.
Even though, like, by their own rationale with their identity politics, given that it was a white woman who died, they shouldn't be opening their mouths ever about it.
Exactly.
Why is she trying to steal our dead whitey?
I also want to read the most cuckiest tweet in response to this article. So the original posting from The Root has the very first tweet underneath it. Now, this could be a troll. This could be a joke. I'm going to assume not, just for the sake of fun. It says, I am a 37-year-old, hetero, white, middle-class guy. My life is set to easy mode. My job is to get everyone else's life to easy too.
The fuck?
Yeah, this is from Zootopia City. Now, again, I don't know anything about this person. It could be a total troll, but I just found it to be hilarious. Yeah. So that's The Root. One of my it's no pun intended, it's growing to be one of my favorite places to look for the latest in the wacky left stuff.
Well, while we're on that subject, are we going to talk about Lorde tweeting?
Jeffrey Lord?
No, like the singer Lorde.
Oh, I don't know anything about
this.
This.
Here, let me just read, because this is sort of in the same vein.
There's so many Lords out there. There's us, there's Jeffrey Lord, now there's Lorde the singer. God, we got to differentiate somehow.
Yeah, no, it's Lorde, like, as in...
Lorde with the E at the end. Lorde.
Yeah, that. Okay. So we've got being a privileged white non-US citizen. I feel like tweeting to reinforce how horrific POC treatment here is unnecessary and inappropriate. I just want to say I'm so sorry. All white people are responsible for this system's thrive and fall. We have to do better. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Sanguine. Oh,
sorry.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Sanguine. Fuck them and the white man's burden they wrote in on. Exactly.
It's just, I mean, if it's your fault, like if that's what you're saying, that it's your fault, I'm just gonna assume that you like agree with white supremacy and you're just now realizing that you don't want to be a white supremacist or something, because I can't imagine being like, you know what, somebody got killed and it's totally my fault.
Here's what I've come up with to say in this and in many other situations. I take neither credit nor blame for things I have not done. That is a relatively good rule to live by, I think, in life in general. And in this instance, Lorde is using white supremacist logic to make a blanket accusation of behavior and thought on people on the basis of skin color. So just think about that. If you switched out the word white with black, you might as well be reading from any KKK material.
Yeah.
It's how this notion passes by thinking people when they say shit like this boggles the mind. I don't know anything about Lorde. I mean, aside from one song that I know of theirs and Weird Al's parody of it, which is great. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, at some point with that, if you really want racism to end, somebody somewhere in the cycle has to stop grouping people by race.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not happening. And I think that's the biggest problem right now, is that the solution just seems to be more racial segregation. Not like that's the practical solution, but like that's the solution being put forward is what I'm saying.
It seems to get the most press. I don't know if it's the most. This is the thing that I'm always kind of confused by. It's like, is this kind of thinking the common wisdom, or is this just the loudest wisdom? I'm hoping it's the loudest and not the common, but the loudest seems to get the most oomph as people. I mean, like even I have to question, like, am I in a growing minority of thought on this subject? Or is it just that this stuff gets the most press because it gets the most clicks, that kind of thing?
I want to say no, but then I keep going back to what Monkey keeps reminding us of, and that's that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote.
I don't see, given the fact that I didn't vote for either one of them, I can't say that Hillary Clinton getting the popular vote is an endorsement of far left stuff as much as it is like not a fan of Trump, which I can completely understand at the same time, because it's a really fine line to split the extreme ideologies to both of these individuals on the basis of the average American looking at their choices. Well, if you know what I mean.
For me, the thing that separates this topic in general of SJW bullshit is that for so long we've heard the idea that being colorblind is itself racist.
Right.
I mean, this is popular, if not popular opinion, at least popular statement.
It's what's being taught in schools. If you take a sociology class, you will have to write an essay of some sort, or at least say yes, or at least circle that option on a test and explain why. Like, I had to do that. I had to explain why, for a grade, being colorblind is racist.
What would you expect? This is the other question I always ask when I hear that thing. I said, okay, well, what would you expect a person who is truly not racist to say if they are accused of such?
Well, there's nothing you can say.
No, exactly. Well, it is a Kafka trap. It's like, okay, if you say anything that would tend to endorse the notion that you are not a racist, that just shows how racist you are.
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. And I had no idea that they were teaching this in schools. I mean, I dodged this bullet, thankfully, but good God.
Well, and it's it's like I would say that it's limited to a sociology class, but I can't say that because in English classes, like in composition classes, which is what you have to take in Georgia, it's called English 1101 and 1102. But their composition class is just designed to teach you to write because for some reason we're not teaching people how to write in fucking high school, but that's another conversation. But in those classes, we cover topics and discuss topics that are beyond the realm of just composition. And my first semester at my college, I was taking English 1102, and I had to drop out of the class because I disagreed with my professor about a topic on race and about racism, because we were talking about this story about this black girl who was, I think we were like watching the movie Precious, I think is what it was. And he was like, you know, she's probably going to end up back in the ghetto in a couple years on meth.
The
and I was
teacher
like,
said that?
yeah, you know, that's what he said. He was like, obviously, right? And he asked me, and I was like, well, at the end of the movie, she gets out. She doesn't have a history of drugs. Like, you know, just taking what you have with the movie. She doesn't have a history of drugs. She gets out. She's smart. So no, I don't think that she'll end up back in the ghetto on drugs. And he was pissed. He was pissed at me, and he started like giving me horrendous grades. And
who's brushing against their microphone or something?
sorry, that was my fault.
Okay.
And so he was pissed at me, and I had to drop the class. Like, I've never made bad grades in an English class before. So this like is just in the general education, in the general curriculum.
Yeah, now I got to look. Now I feel like I want to find something that I can, some video or something where they actually do.
P-Dog, the problem is you were watching the movie Precious in a college English class.
Right, like, I know. I'm like, shouldn't we just be focusing on, like, writing skills? But no, we have to cover social issues. Like, at least the class I ended up taking, we talked about comic books the whole time. So
No, I want that class.
no, it was actually a lot of fun. That class was fun, and I did well. I got to skip, like, peer review day because she knew that I could write, so she didn't give a shit what I did. It was awesome. But the first one was bananas.
Thank you, Sanguine. Scribe, they already did away with the idea that a white person cannot be racist with all white people are racist. So in their minds, a non-racist white person is an oxymoron.
Yeah, I see. I understand the quote unquote logic of it, and that just makes me more depressed because it is a no way out. It is a non-winnable argument, and it just shows when someone says something like that. How they do not then see, wait a second, isn't that a really racist thing I'm just doing? It's like, and this is why being defensive when these things come along is the last thing you want to do. This is why I'm always like amazed at these companies that immediately come out like what the Tiki Torches guys do.
Yeah.
They immediately apologize as though any rational person would think that because somebody went down to Walmart and bought a bunch of Tiki Torches, that any event at which a Tiki Torch is used is thus endorsed by the Tiki Torch company. I mean, all you're doing is infantilizing people by assuming that they're thinking that in the first place.
You know what they're doing? They're just encouraging people to make memes that say brought to you by Tiki.
Exactly. Yeah, like I say, Pepe holding a Tiki Torch and making an OK symbol is if it's not already there, it's coming. You know, or just a Tiki Torch. I can post a picture of a Tiki Torch, and the Anti-Defamation League will like get my Twitter banned or something. It's just
Well, it's just gotten so ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, like, I think I forget who brought it up in the chat, but they're right. The problem is that because they've decided that everybody is just inherently racist, and that there's no possible way that you can be lighter than a brown paper bag and not be racist, there's no way for you to defend yourself and say, well, no, I'm not racist, because if you say you're not racist, then you're just being blind to how racist you are.
Mm-hmm. We've just gotten to such a ridiculous place, and I want to talk about an elephant in the room that hasn't really been discussed with all of this. I mean, it was brought up a little bit yesterday in our stream, but this rally by the nationalists, whatever race group you want to call them, had been planned for a while. And chances are, if people had just left them alone and ignored them, They'd
Yep.
have went away, and we could go back to pretending they don't really exist.
Mhm.
And instead, counter protesters, quote unquote,
Yep.
showed up, and violence broke out. It didn't break out because these people were marching. It's because other people showed up to fight.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, whether you guys know this or not, Klan marches have been happening forever. They happen all the time.
Yeah. There's a one every year on the Washington Mall.
Yeah, and we just ignore them because they're fucking morons.
Yeah.
Minding freedom, thank you so much. This stream is brought to you by Tiki.
Well, and what you're saying, what to me is evidence of that, is the fact that there haven't been any burning buildings, no like beaten up cars, stuff like that. And when you have protests and marches and demonstrations that are going to be inherently violent, meaning Black Lives Matter or Antifa, they go for property damage. And they destroy stuff, whereas this was all interpersonal.
Yeah, we didn't see, a lot of numbers for how much property damage was done here. This was two groups of people beating the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
Cryptic, thank you. Racism in America is so fucking stupid. I lived in 4 Asian countries.
Country.
Countries.
Yeah, I fucked that all up, didn't I?
Scribe right.
Right.
Scribe right.
I'm sorry. Back to the thing. Racism there is a whole lot fucking worse than here. We have it good here. We do, but this is one of the times where free speech shows how, I mean, the downside of free speech. Now, don't get me wrong. I love free speech. But the ability for both sides to openly address each other can lead to heated confrontations. And when heated confrontation is the stated goal, then that's going to be a problem. I still support free speech because I think it's the way you work things out, but that's with speech, not with beating the fuck out of each other.
I just want to bring up a side thing real quick in regards to the fact that this was a planned event. This was a planned. I believe they had all the permits and everything necessary to do this. So the original group wasn't breaking any laws by doing what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
No. But the funny thing today was the mayor of Charlottesville came out and condemned Trump for basically exacerbating the situation to where it happened. What? And I'm like, no, I mean, I can let me find his quote. Let me make sure I'm not quoting him out of context here because I read a bit of the article. I want to make sure I'm not completely okay. This is from CNN. You're going to play a video on me, aren't you? Of course you are. Hold on. I don't want to get. For some reason, the embedded videos on CNN always completely blast my ears out. Okay. Charlottesville mayor on Trump. Look at the campaign he ran.
Bullshit.
Hold on. Charlottesville Democratic Mayor Michael Steiner said Sunday, oh, that was an alliteration that almost broke me, that President Donald Trump has emboldened organized racists who caused the racially charged violence in his city over the weekend. Look at the campaign he ran, Steiner said on CNN's State of the Union. Steiner called on everyone to join together to recognize and combat racism, adding that the effort should include Trump. Now, I just want to remind, this is the mayor of the city in which this was arranged to happen in the first place. The person who is responsible for organizing and preparing for planned events that might lead to such violence. Now, I'm hearing things about how lousy the police response was to all of this. And who's in charge of the city? It seems a little bit like I'm trying to dodge responsibility for what happened in my town by saying, oh, well, Trump emboldened these people to do the kind of things that happened in my city yesterday. Seems a little weaselly to me, but I don't know.
Thank you, Cryptic. That motherfucker had a stand-down order. This is coming from the New York Times. I'm not surprised.
Had a stand-down order? You're kidding me. Now, of course, the New York Times is not an outlet that I have a whole lot of trust for anymore, but did he? If that's true, then that's the same thing we saw like in Berkeley, where the college campus said, oh yeah, stand down, don't try to interfere with the people trying to express themselves or whatever. And then we get people getting hit over the head with bike locks.
Well, you also have to remember this mayor had to sign off on this permit.
Yeah.
So yeah, several people have said it. He's covering his own ass here.
Yeah.
And I will say, as somebody who lives in the Deep South,
Connecticut.
Yeah, in Connecticut. There are Confederate-esque rallies all the time down here, up here, I should say. And because people were tweeting out pictures like, look at all these guns. Honey, like, if I go to the grocery store, there are 10 people in that grocery store that have guns. Like, sorry, welcome to the South, or Connecticut. And nothing ever comes out of it because I know they're crazy, and I agree, but they're not there to be violent. And you know that because, like, they literally are not, burning down CVS. I mean, just look at what happened in Ferguson. There were no counter-protesters. They just got violent.
Thoughts from the Dryer said they had to go to court to get the permit. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't somebody try to go to court to stop the permit? They already had the permit. Somebody was trying to get it revoked, if I remember correctly.
Just to avoid overriding everything else, which of course I'm about to do. I've got one more story I want to read, and we're already at the top of the first hour.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So I got one more to read, and I only have this one to read because you have a super chat. Oh wait.
Nope says saying that is a downside of free speech is silly. Attacking people who are speaking is completely opposite of free speech. What I mean by that is, in a society where people aren't allowed to speak freely, you have a lot less confrontation like this because you don't have the opposing side. I'm not saying it's a bad part of free speech. I'm saying it is a downside. There are plus and minuses to everything.
So real quick, I was asked so I made a mistake today. So somebody on the video from last night posted a thing saying, hey, I don't have a Twitter. I have a story I'd like you guys to read. How can I get it to you? And I was just like, oh, just post a link into the comment here and I'll read it tonight. And the link they posted said something about alt-right infiltration of bronies. And I thought, oh, we already did this. We already did this story. I was thinking of the alt-right infiltration of furries. And so at first I made the mistake of saying, oh, we already did this story like a week ago or something. And he said, I don't think you have. And then I looked, oh yeah, you're right. There is a difference between bronies and furries. How silly of me. So it took me a second. But anyway,
it's an easy mistake.
It was early in the morning and I wasn't thinking straight. So this has been submitted to us by Conjuring Round. That's the name on YouTube. And it's actually published in Playboy. So I'll go through this one relatively quickly. How the alt-right infiltrated an online community of animated horse lovers. That's a very diplomatic way of putting it. Think My Little Pony and white supremacy don't mix? Think again. Though bronies, the adult male fans of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, have geeked out about Pegasy, dragons, and Fluttershy for years, there's a new force infiltrating the fandom. Among these bronies, there's talk of pony nationalism, avatars of horses in KKK gear, and posts of ponies with swastikas decorating their rumps. That's right, political division has struck Equestria. In particular, a group calling themselves alt-bronies have driven a wedge between themselves and the rest of the fandom, who have been calling for the alt-bronies to leave politics out of their ponies. And I'm reminded of the donkey fucking story from last night. Did I get cut off?
No. I'm sorry. I was.
What happened?
I'm trying to process still the idea of grown men watching My Little Pony.
Well, it's okay if you have offspring that are female.
Yeah.
And under the age of 8.
Quote, there are people who take it very seriously. No kidding. Alt-brony GWSS Delta. Jesus. Told me over Twitter DM about his fellow alt-bronies. Are you sure you weren't being trolled, dude? Just saying. Quote, they see MLP as a vehicle for a European identity and ideal that resonates with such huge numbers of young white men. First of all, what? This is the writer talking. Secondly, and most importantly, how can alt-bronies exist within a fandom whose motto is literally love and tolerate? Wait, I thought the fandom was love, friendship is magic. Am I wrong? I'm not a brony. Am I missing something? Okay, this goes into, so yeah, this is...
Can I just bring up the fact that we're talking about the news and the word fucking brony is in it?
Well, this isn't the news. This is technically an MSS story that just happened to be sent through a comment, and I didn't have the same mechanisms to make sure I credited the right person, so I had to go through different ways.
It's a story about the alt-right infiltrating
I know.
bronies.
I know.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Anyway, I'm going to put a link to the story in the chat. It's a little lengthy, and we're already sort of running over time. So I'm going to let people look at that as they might. So just another thank you to Conjuring Round for that. And sorry for the confusion on the comments today. Do we want to do any MSS news, or want to go like into YouTube stuffs?
We can go into YouTube stuff. I do want to correct, and people were right that the permit had been pulled for the park that they were in, and they went back to court to get it reinstated. Okay.
Oh, so they were, but they at the time that they did it, they were legal.
They were still legal. Yes, they did get the permit. So
okay.
Fucking bronies. Oh my god.
I know. I half think that this this reporter was being trolled. Half. But I don't know, because
what other things could?
I don't know.
What other things could the alt-right infiltrate?
Well, how many things can SJWs infiltrate?
Well, they're into everything.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, if depending on how you define alt-right, because see, here's the thing: social justice has, you know, there's many varied aspects of it, but there are some truisms amongst all of it. Alt-right has been applied to so many different people and things. It's difficult to say what is alt-right. And even if someone calls themselves alt-right, what does it even mean at this point? I don't even know.
Yeah, when it first came up, and nobody could define it. Nobody could. It was such a vague term. And for some reason, the racists were able to take it over. And
if you're conservative, or what would be classified as a general conservative person, you could be called alt-right, and no one would argue with that classification. Or the reverse of it is, if it has no definition, how do you argue back that you're not?
Snubbirth said, and thank you for the super chat, and thank you Bloodwing for pointing out that I missed it. I'm sorry I missed this when it first popped up. Wasn't the ACLU under fire for this protest before all this bullshit happened? I didn't pay attention to this until the night before. I hadn't heard anything about it. And then I started seeing the pictures on Twitter with the tiki torches, and I had to go look it up. So they may have been. I don't know. YouTube time.
YouTube time.
Scribbles, what'd you do today?
Well, Tango and Cash. That was my YouTube time today, was discussing the excellent 1989 film, was it?
Yes.
1989 epic cinema film masterpiece, Tango and Cash, starring Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell, and several other actors who I quite like a lot. They're all character actors. We spent about an hour and 40 minutes essentially going over every beat of the film and giving our commentary on it. It was awesome, and I had a great time doing it, and it sounded like the people who watched it liked it too. We're going to do this again next Sunday for The Last Boy Scout on my channel. And I don't know if this will become a weekly thing or not, but at least these two movies we'll cover. And definitely do not watch them if you're at all planning on watching the movie after, because it's essentially one giant spoiler review, so to speak. It's not a brief Siskel and Ebert, this is our opinion in a general sense. No, we just break down the entire movie, because these movies have been out for like 20, 25 years. So to us, it's nothing new or nothing that needs to be held sacred.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend watching the movies, and do it before you watch what we have to say about it.
Yeah, so you have a week to find a copy of The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis, and the name suddenly escapes me because my Damon Wayans. Sorry, Damon Wayans. And find a copy of that. Directed by Tony Scott. I was mistaken that I thought Shane Black directed it. Shane Black wrote it. Tony Scott directed it, of all people, which even kind of puts it higher up on the quality level and explains some things. So Last Boy Scout next Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Otherwise, as far as YouTube stuff, I have one that I'm working on. It's a Splinter video from about a week or two back that I had done a script for, but I kind of held off because I'd already done some Splinter stuff. But I also want to take a moment and give a really quick shout out and thank you to Midnight in Exile. Midnight in Exile last night offered to go offline with me and give me some advice on adjusting my audio levels and Audacity settings to make my audio sound better. And a lot of the stuff that he sent me really did help out. I tested that out today with a little couple of test runs, and I think things are sounding better than they were before. So hopefully you'll notice that in the next video. Midnight in Exile, all one word, has his own YouTube channel. He's just starting out. I believe he has 2 videos up so far. So he's dipping his toes in the water of this genre of commentary. So if you have an opportunity to go check out his channel and you like what you see, by all means, subscribe. And that be my YouTube stuff.
Thank you, Make Europe Strong Again. I belong to My Little Pony Microaggression on SJW. And nope. Thank you. ACLU confirmed the stand down order. Oh, wow. Good job, Mayor. Yeah, point to Trump as quick as you can.
Why? I don't understand. Why? Why?
So that the violence could happen and they could have their narrative.
You know,
SDA.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I know. No, we were done with that topic. I'm going to hold off. Sorry.
SDA.
I did a book club with Bay. We talked about Frostburned this morning at 8 a.m.
Was this a book you liked or not?
Okay, so yes, I do. I like these books. I like the Mercy Thompson series. I genuinely do. I think because I've read all 9, well, there's 10 books, but I've read 9 of them, and I've reread 7 to do the book club series. So I'm a little burnt out on them right now. So we're going to do some other stuff for a while, because the little things that irritate me about this series, because there's a lot of feminist agenda bullshit in the middle of my adventure novel, which is obnoxious. All of that sort of like starts to get to me. So and tomorrow. So we're gonna talk about something else. But no, we do like that book. It's just there's one character that she keeps calling a misogynist who's not a misogynist, and it's just really freaking annoying. It's like every introduction of this character is like, Ben's a misogynist, and I'm like, but he ran into a burning building to save you, and he murdered rapists. Like, that's just
Maybe he just has internalized misogyny.
Well, she's like, I can't leave him alone with women because he says cunt. I'm not kidding. It's so, and he's like the nicest character who's like always there, has everybody's back, and every introduction is, here's Ben, he's a misogynist, we're working on it. I'm like, you're a cunt, Mercy. You piece of shit. No, but I like the book, I promise. And I'm also working on a collab with Miss Misa.
Ooh. Can you say what is on?
Well, Riley Dennis put out a video about how if you don't want to date a bi person, you are biphobic.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess us both being half gay, we were like, maybe we can shed some light on the subject. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Alrighty.
Monkey, what did you do today?
Well, I was in the stream with you. And that's a good I always enjoy talking movies with Scribe, and we could go on for days about it, so we have to limit ourselves.
Oh boy, don't I know it.
That's why I have notes. That's why I had notes to keep myself sort of reined in, because I was like, okay, I've got a sequential series of notes about what happened in the movie. Got to stick to these. Don't stray too far. I deviated a little here and there for the sake of trivia because I can't help myself, but otherwise kept it pretty well tight.
I don't mind that we can do that. I have no shame. But it was a good stream. That's up on my channel. Did you get it up on your channel?
No, I think I'll just leave it on yours. No, I'll worry about mine next week.
Oh, okay.
Keep all the attention on you. That's fine.
Well, that's where it belongs.
Exactly.
I'm a pretty monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And I released my video that I actually finished Friday night, Saturday morning. The one about Marina Shut Up and her white guilt bullshit. But it also delved into, if you were watching us Friday night.
Can't believe it was Friday night.
I know. At YouTube time, I brought up that Hi, I Think I'm Real, who's a friend of the show. I like Hi. I have nothing against him. But he put out a series of tweets in relation to Andy Worski and the White YouTubers collaboration, where he was a bit critical of how they reacted. And I went over that a little bit and showed that, in my opinion, they weren't bad, especially for who they are. They were pretty tame. And then I delved into the Marina video itself, and it's the same old shit. It's the same old white people are bad shit. Were mad at me because I was nice about it. I was nice on purpose. I was nice because the implication from High was that if we just address the argument, if we only stick to valid criticism with nothing else involved, just valid criticism, that a dialogue can open. And that is the only reason I did it. Normally I would have mocked the shit out of her for the shit she said in this video, because it's really fucking stupid. Xena, thank you. Was High I Think I'm Real around during the Atheist Gamer saga? I have no idea.
If he was very early on in his channel.
Yeah. Boy,
that was a long time ago now, wasn't
tags, it? That's tag stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tag stuff was yeah.
He asked me for a shout out on Twitter today.
Tag?
Yeah, either today or yesterday, I forget which.
Tag has like tried to bother me a couple of times, and I'm like, I don't get why you hate my guts because of all of that junk that happened. And I don't blame you. I'd hate me too if I were you. But he's interesting.
I don't mind giving shout outs if it's stuff that I actually support. If you ask me for a shout out and I watch your video, I'm like, ooh, this is trash, I'm not going to do it. Terry Diamante says, for reference, I was kidding about disliking your video. No, I understand it, but there were comments both on Twitter and YouTube where people went, why are you being nice? Don't be nice. And it was for a specific reason. Now, I haven't turned soft. I will go back to insulting things.
Monkey's always hard.
Always. I just can't feel it. James Coke.
Sorry.
SDA for your book club. You should do Red Rising by. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
Nope. Bless you.
Oh, here comes. Here comes.
Okay, it passed. Sorry about that. SDA for your book club. You should do Red Rising by Pierce Brown.
I will put it on the potential list. I just want to just say this because people come at me with, and I just looked it up and it actually does look interesting. So I will run it by Faye. But I just want to say, we try to read like the whole series, you know, one after the other, and only do like a couple series at a time, like literally one or two. So if you give us a suggestion and we like it, we will probably get to it, but just, you know, understand that reading books takes a long time. Just saying.
Thank you, Lainey Stanfield. Go monkey or go home.
So when James said read Red Rising, I thought, oh, do you mean Red Storm Rising by Tom Clancy? Because you totally should read that book.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, I'll look into it and we might get to it. I'm just saying, please don't be mad if it takes us about a year.
You know what I just realized is kind of odd? How the scenarios presented in Tom Clancy books from the 80s and early 90s are now suddenly relevant again.
Oh, yeah.
Red Storm Rising and Cardinal of the Kremlin. I mean, yeah, some of the technology and stuff is dated, of course, but just sort of the tension between America and Russia, and with, that's kind of odd. So maybe Hunt for Red October can still really happen. Yeah.
I want to address something said in chat here. Mega Monster said, wait, so Hi, I Think I'm Real thought Andy was being too mean. No. Not from the way I read it. From the way I read it, he thought that they should have just been politer about it to foster conversation. Not that they were too mean, just that he thought a different approach would have worked better. Mm-hmm. 6 watts, thank you so much. Greetings from Michigan, Monkey. Love all of your videos. Oh, well, thank you very much for watching. And I'm here in Michigan too. I feel for you. Jay Reynolds, read I Strahd and Night of the Black Rose. Did I say that right? Strahd?
Well, are you talking about Strahd from Ravenloft? And or right. I'm talking to Jay Reynolds, because Strahd is the sort of the Dracula analog, for lack of a better phrase, in Dungeons and Dragons. So, is there a novel about Strahd from D&D?
I don't know. Joys of Sorrows asked if we were going to talk about the Ahsoka book on Baywatch. I've read it once. I don't really want to reread it. I enjoyed it. But like not enough to reread it right now. I don't know if we will. If not, I might review it on my second channel or something. I don't know.
Oh, you are talking about Ravenloft. Okay, because I just played a few months ago the revised Strahd campaign in D&D or for 5th edition, and I know I know far too much about Strahd now than I ever did before because I'm not a big D&D guy. But yeah, anyway.
Cryptic, go Lions! Bahaha! I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah, fucking Lions! I feel bad for the people who live here and love them. Yeah, one more thing about suggestions. If there is a mid to late 80s movie, even possibly early 90s that you would like me and Scribe to consider, remember, this is just consider, just drop it in the comments to the videos we do about these.
Yeah, we already have a running, so far we've got, so we did Tango and Cash, we're going to do Last Boy Scout, we've talked about Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man, we've now talked about Running Scared.
We are doing Running Scared.
Yeah, I got to find a copy. I don't have that. I got to get that one. I saw it years and years ago. Whoa, thank you, Sweeper.
Thank you, Sweeper Steven. Just have to show some love. And I love you back. Thank you so much.
God, what else? I remember seeing when I was looking at buddy cop movies just because I was curious as to the chronology from Lethal Weapon and onward. Oh, another one.
Kagam Mendoa. Monkey, I didn't know you were from Michigan. I am too. Go Blue. Yes, go Blue. Fuck the Spartans. But I'm actually from San Diego. I happen to live here now.
Do we want to do Bad Boys?
Oh, we could do Bad Boys.
Because I didn't.
Bad Boys
I was thinking
the genre we're kind of covering.
Yeah. Do we want to make it buddy movies or just like 80s action movies?
80s action, I think, is good.
Because we gotta fit somewhere in there. We gotta fit in a Chuck Norris or even this is a little dated, but given the remake coming up, we should watch the original Death Wish.
Oh God, yeah. That'll be a brutal one. We'll have to put a warning on that one.
Yeah, we should do the original Death Wish, and then we should try to arrange it so that we go see the remake when it comes out, and then do something on that. Maybe we can like coincide them, like see them both, and then talk about them both at once.
Nighty Charlemagne wants to know what we think about the Lord of the Night tribute song.
As soon as I heard it, I thought, "Oh man, he's going to get a copyright strike," and he did immediately. But like he said he got like 15 different entities put a copyright strike or claim on his video as soon as he uploaded it. And I was like, Jesus. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. Oh, Red Dawn. Oh God. Go Wolverines! Wolverines! Anyway,
if you guys are curious, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Since you guys went over what you guys in the chat asks me what we're gonna read the Titan series, which is like the spinoff of the Covenant series, which I absolutely hated, and because we're trying to have like a series that we like and a series that we hate, so that you get some of us bitching, because the ones where I'm bitching my brains out are a lot funnier. So we're gonna do the spinoff of that series, and I've listened to part of the audiobook. And the voice acting in that audiobook is awful because he's got like this stupid ass faux European accent the entire freaking time. So 11 hours of a guy speaking in a fake European accent. I'm not ready. And then I think we're going to read the Cirque du Freak series, which I remember liking. I hope I still like it. And then after that, we're going to finish up Mercy Thompson and then probably read Alpha Omega. So for the next couple of months, that's what we're going to be doing.
Okay. I was typing this out, but I'll just say it, guys. If you have suggestions for us, put them in the stream comments, because I will forget anything you say here.
Yeah,
it's not personal. It's just how shitty my memory is.
Yeah.
And the stream doesn't save along with the video after we're done streaming, so comments are much more permanent.
Yeah, same for us. If you want us to consider reading something, just put it in the comments of one of the book club streams.
That brings us to
deep topic
11
time?
minutes of deep topic.
11. Oh, we could talk. Oh, 11 minutes. Hey, that's just enough time to self-destruct the base.
Yes, indeed.
Oh God, the worst supervillain plan ever.
Oh God, that fucking movie.
Cocaine drug lords with a suicide pact in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
I should take that sentence alone and turn that into a script.
No doubt. Yeah, I don't really have a deep topic. The whole Charlottesville thing has just kind of melted my brain today.
Yeah, when something like this happens, it's sickening on the one hand, like specifically the person dying. Okay, and I still don't know what happened with the helicopter, but that somebody died, that some monster decided to drive his car through human beings standing in the street. Doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter what their politics are. But then the now almost inevitable outcome of something like that is everybody and their brothers scrambling to do one of two things, or both at the same time. A, virtue signal their purity on the notion that something horrible happened with platitudes like, what we've seen. And also the other one, using it as political fodder to show how much of a better person you are and how horrible everybody else is. And, a guy drove his car into people and somebody died. This is not something to make fodder out of. But I mean, people are going to, and they can. I don't like it. I think it's petty, and I think it's gross in a way. But that, this isn't me saying they shouldn't have the right to or anything like that. It just depresses me that this is so common now. It's sort of like school shootings. You hear about one, it's just like, okay, well, then another one happens the next week, or a terrorist attack. I hate these things becoming passé,
How about we do this? Since it's so close, let's just open it up to questions, and we can keep commenting on this story if we want to. And if you have anything else you want to bring up, bring it up.
Depressing. Yeah, it's depressing.
I watched one video today that it made me just shake my fucking head. It's footage from the car ramming everybody else, and the guy who's filming it is in front of it as it happens, and it's horrific. I don't recommend you guys watching it, but if you do, pay attention. It's like a 3-minute video, and near the end of it, some police show up, and this guy actually says, "Where were you guys?"
Yeah.
The police are good for a lot of things. Stopping a speeding car ramming into other people, they weren't going to do anything. And for him to take that moment to blame the police for it just made me go, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? Oh, man. Monkey, who would you say is the greatest Charger of all time? Oh, God. I'm LaDainian Tomlinson, hands down. That's right.
Imelda Marcos. That many shoes has to have a credit card.
My God. I know. That's why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Did we get any questions?
No.
Did you happen to see the guy giving Bear a bunch of shit this morning? Irate Bear?
No. Oh wait, vaguely. I'm suddenly remembering because this morning was very early for me.
Yeah, he said he woke up and saw on the news, blaming the alt-right for everything, and he goes, "There's no criticism for the other side." And this dude jumps on that as though Bear was supporting the alt-right. Like, that's not even close to what he said. And yeah, this is the kind of thing you were just talking about. This kind of situation is just driving people to stupid. It really is.
Yeah, it's just. And it's just the latest opportunity. I mean, when was the last time we had? How long has it been since the last great gigantic event / protest? I think everybody who likes. Is it just me, or is it a kind of pornography for people that look for things like this to use as fodder for whatever their personal agenda is?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there hasn't been a Ferguson or a Baltimore in quite a while, so here we go. Not helped by a guy who decided to run his car into people. I'm not saying there isn't anything to be outraged by here. I'm just, yeah. Anyway, so messy.
Anyway, Yeah, somebody asked me about Junior Seau or mentioned Junior Seau as the
Mm.
best Charger ever. Seau was awesome. I wore my Seau jersey until the numbers wore off. I have a
Yeah.
signed ball from Seau. I love Junior Seau. But as far as an impact for the team, LaDainian is unquestionably was more impactful.
Did you read how they found CTE on Seo's brain?
Yeah.
I know very little about football. I know some of the names from back in the day, but that stuff always jumps out at me more now than anything else.
You can ask my wife. I don't get very sentimental about people dying.
Yeah.
But when Junior Seau put a gun to his chest and I heard that news, I was shooken. I really was, because I love the guy. He was, not only was he a great football player, he was an excellent humanitarian.
Did you ever meet him?
I didn't know.
Oh.
Never got a chance.
Lion Patriot says, "Is Crunchy Peter peanut butter Crunchy Peter?"
Oh
if you've got a Crunchy Peter, you need to go see a doctor right now. Is Crunchy peanut butter the best peanut butter? Depends on what you're having, I guess, or what the condition of your teeth is. But generally, yes.
Irate Prostate said, I sent you a DM regarding I think I'm real. And I think he's virtue signaling on Twitter. I said he was shooting all over the place. My response to you is I don't know what to think here. My instinct is we talked about this yesterday, the day before.
Yeah.
I have no reason to doubt him that he's actually being sincere. And I don't begrudge the guy the chance to say what he wants to say. If I disagree with him, I will disagree with him.
Thanks, Cryptic. Cryptic sent you a super chat.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh.
Hell, all of Broncos fandoms respect Junior. Yeah, everybody did. The only thing that I had against Junior is that he went to play for the fucking Patriots.
Scribelight, this is from Black Romeo. An idea for the Death Wish thing is you both record a video of you talking about the original, then release the video just before the live stream of you guys talking about the remake. It's like do it in private first? I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Hi, I think I'm real is pretty young, I believe, says Zenith. I think he's at early 20s at that. Maybe like 21. I forget. I know that came up during our stream, but I don't remember. Donald the Repentless says, do you like grape jelly? Is that a Chris Rock reference? What's that clicking? Hello? Did I get cut off again?
No.
I was really scared there for a second. I was like, no, I heard nothing from anybody. Monkey, are you still there? Monkey? Did Monkey go bye-bye? I think Monkey went bye-bye.
I don't know.
Maybe his internet went kablooey. Maybe he opened up another web page that doesn't agree with him. Okay, well, while we wait for Monkey to reappear, Scribelight, you guys could cover Escape from New York sometime. That's not a bad idea. I haven't seen that in a while. I've got that. I think I have a copy of that somewhere. Yeah, Monkey disappeared. Let's see. Monkey peed his panties? Yeah, maybe. The helicopter's got him? Yeah, probably Joel. He's clicking his pen in SOS. Yeah, Lady Monkey's twisting his nipples and he just can't speak. Monkey was abducted. Monkey down. Clearly the stream is working, so not an internet problem. Well, it's working for as long as Monkey... Yeah, Monkey so dropped out. If he doesn't come back in a few minutes, the stream will die because his channel's hosting it. So, Scribelight, you should check out Maniac Cop. I saw Maniac Cop a long time ago. Long time ago. And, God, I don't know if that's one we'd cover, but we'll see. There's so many options. I mean, there's so many action movies from the 90s and the 80s. So questions, guys. This is the time of night where your questions pretty much fuel the entire stream. So please, questions if you got them. Scribelight, is it just cop movies? If not, how about Death Hunt? It's not about cop movies per se. It just happens to be that the first few that we thought of were buddy cop movies and that sort of genre, because those were ones that stuck out in our minds. But Scribe, I'm late to the stream. What did I miss? Says Louis Jasinski. You missed everything to this point. Let's see. Why was TMNT 3 so bad? Because they should have stopped with the first one and not made any more. SDA, do you have a favorite Kurt Russell movie?
Who the fuck is Kurt Russell?
That answers that one. My favorite Kurt Russell movie is John Carpenter's The Thing. He sells that movie 6 ways from. In fact, all the actors in that movie do an excellent job, but Kurt Russell obviously is the glue that holds that together, next to Wilford Brimley.
Oh, that's Dad from, what's it called?
Sky High.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Oh, is he in like the Disney Sky High thing too?
Well, in the movie Sky High, he played the commander or whatever, the dad.
Okay, that's where I know him from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scribe like crossword puzzles versus Sudoku. I don't do Sudoku, so I'll say crossword puzzles. Do you do Sudoku?
Yeah, Sudoku.
Okay, I'm no good at it, or at least I haven't done enough of it.
Dear God, SDA, do you even own a television? Yeah, I've got a 50-inch flat screen right in front of me.
Yeah, television doesn't bring you Kurt Russell movies automatically. Yeah. Bloodwing says Big Trouble in Little China, also a good one. And also there was a crossover in actors with Big Trouble and Tango and Cash, which we talked about on the stream. Let's see what else we have. Escape from New York, The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, even Wilford Brimley. Hey, if you watch The Thing, Jacob, Wilford Brimley does one of his best performances ever in that movie. You just watch it. I'm not even kidding. Monkey's not back. The stream could crash at any time if Monkey doesn't return soon. So if we suddenly disappear... Oh, are you back?
Kind of.
Don't turn your camera on. Your camera's on there for a second.
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we were worried. We're like, what happened to did your internet die?
Yeah, it did, and I'm waiting for it to come back.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came back, because we were kind of like, Monkey, what happened?
Yeah, because you got 5 minutes to get back. So I'll be doing this until my computer comes back up.
Okay. William Corina says, Scribelight, what was that movie with the guy in the sunglasses and the aliens and subliminal messaging? That was They Live, another John Carpenter movie, but that starred Rowdy Roddy Piper, which had one of the best fight sequences in all time, where Rowdy Roddy Piper fights David Keith in an alley for a 5 minutes straight with no dialogue, trying to make him put on a pair of sunglasses. It's amazing.
Yeah, South Park actually parodied that in the Cripple Fight episode.
They, if you ever play Saints Row the 4th, I think it was, Rowdy Roddy Piper appears in that, and David Keith does a voice acting for himself in that, and they actually have an interaction in the game referencing the whole thing. It's amazing. That game is so much fun for movie nerds. It's great.
I think I only played the opening sequence of that.
Oh, if you stick to it, it's worth it, at least for the pop culture references. Scribelight says, come around. What do you think of Google's DeepMind? Is that their AI? I'm not sure. AI scares me because Skynet. What else? Duke, nothing for